Well, you glorious, glorious demon hunter bastards. Welcome back to Dad's Bar. Welcome back to the channel. My name is FOXSOL, and look who is on the screen. That's right, guys. We got Bringer Nero just for you, and we're going to discuss about what builds I am currently working on with the character. This video may get updated in the future, but right now I think I got a clear idea of how I want to use this character and what is best suited for this character, and take from it what you will to try to make your Bringer Nero better. So let's get started and some more Wallet May Cry. So you got Bringer Nero like me. You're looking at building the character and you may be a little bit lost. It's not like Virgil. We're not building a crit based damage character. We're not looking at building him with crit damage. We're looking at a character that is a bona fide, I'm going to take a baseball bat and beat the shit out of you character. How do we build it? What should we be looking out for? Well, this video is for you. And there is one, and I'm going to go through this real quick with you guys on the talents right now, because a lot of people I know of miss this. They don't look at this. And I've stated in my streams, I've gone through this with my streams, I've read all this stuff with you guys several times. This is where you should always, in my personal opinion, start at first when you're looking at designing and developing your build for a character. So, saying no more, an MP regen. We gain 430 MP every time Bringer hits a target, and if the styles rank is S, it gains an additional 20 MP cooldown for the cooldown's 20 seconds. While Devil Trigger, the skill damage of the Buster is by 90%. And gains an additional 20% if we're at a stylish rank S. Really good stat. You already have this if you pull the character. Another one that you already have that's activated is No Escape. When you get to A, attack marks. After activating Exceed, hitting a target with subsequent Exceed skills grants an entire lineup 10 stacks of brand. The cooldown's 18 seconds. Pretty good. Now you got the character at S because that's where you unlocked it at. We get automatically Exceed. Loath. Tapping the style skill will instantly, pretty much, immediately fill 3 bars of your Exceed gauge. Hitting a target with the Devil's Manifestation grants 150 MP. While Exceeded hits the target with a lifted effect for each time the Exceed gauge is consumed, automatically restoring the Exceed gauge back to max for the next 10 seconds. That's really good. Now, when we look future-wise, I don't think this character really shines until we hit SS, but we can see that we gain MP for 36 MP per second when we hit S+. But when we get to SS, we get an actual boost to our ultimate skill. So our damage of our Devil Triggers and Manifestation goes up by 147%. So the stand that's behind Nero, the JoJo Bizarre stand, my friends, every time you do a hit, and then at that point in time, the manifestation does a hit. So that's basically stating that after you do a hit, your manifestation's power is boosted by where its current stats at by an extra 147% on top of that. Really good. This is where I think the character really starts to shine at. It's not necessary, in my personal opinion, to go any farther really. But if you want to make him stand out more, this is where you'll start seeing the damage. You start seeing damage, the true damage increase you'll actually want to see like right off the bat is at SS. Otherwise, we have to rely on other things. At S+, it increases by 194%. At SS, you can increase the damage of High Roller and Split by 55%, which is really good. That is really good. So we'll get into the reason why that's good, but you also gain an additional 200 MP after hitting a target. When we get to SS+, our damage on our Devil Trigger yet again grows by 241%. Holy shit. And then when we get to EX, the ultimate increase of explosive damage happens. The increase of explosive damage by 200%, and each detonation will increase fire damage by 42% for the next 10 seconds, even though the effect does not stack. That is really, really cool and good. Because I'll put it like this. With this character's build that I'm doing right now, by himself, he is nowhere. He is close, but he's not. He's still in a long run being where Virgil, Endless Judgment Virgil would be at. He's still a far cry away. Like, I would solidly say that Devil Bringer Nero is a solid A unit. Like, tier list wise, he's a solid A. Fucking really good. The character in general is really, really good. And when we add cards to him, we want to do the Pluton set. And now, grant you, I don't have the best cards in the world because I went through the cards, the slaughter of cards and everything. And I'll tell you right now that I didn't pull any good cards for Pluton. I've been pulling nothing but Phantoms when I was asking for that before. And now look, I'm pulling nothing but the fucking Phantoms now. But the way I'm looking at building my character, and I think really will justify his damage output, is that if you take a look at what I'm trying to go for, I'm trying to find cards that's based around attack, fire damage, and pretty much it. I'm not worried about crit rate. I'm not worried about crit damage. I'm looking for cards that have good attack. Like, for example, this has 3 points of attack. It has a 610, 63, 1.4, and it even has the fire damage at 2.8. Same thing here. We have an attack of 1.4. The only reason why I'm using this card, and otherwise, because I'm not worried about defense, I'm not worried about HP, but the only other reason why I'm using this card is just because it has fire damage at 2.8. It's the only other card I have. I did not have a card 3 with any kind of fire damage on it to really look at, but I had a card that was at 12.2% at level 25. That also had overall damage at 3.6, an attack at 42%, but I think this 12.2% is really good. When it comes to this card right here, I changed this card out. Originally, it was a bleed efficiency card, but the bleed efficiency card mainly handled in HP and damage, HP and defense, nothing with damage, nothing with fire damage. So I changed that to using the healing on kills because the attack rate on it was 11.95 and the fire damage also on it was at 3.2, which I think is good. So I will be looking for cards with Pluton that is going to be based more with attack base, with fire damage, and with burn efficiency. I don't have the burn efficiency on this one at this point in time, but future-wise, that is what I will be looking for, and I think that that's going to really make Nero pop, is because, like Virgil, I want that fire gauge active at all times, as much as possible. I want to be in that state, burning the enemy as fast as possible, because I want to be doing increased damage. With the 2 and the 4 card perks, we get a 16% increasement in our fire damage, and each attack increases the overall damage by 2% for the next 10 seconds and can stack up 15 times, which I think is really good the longer a character is in. So, take it for what you want right there. We're going to go move on really quickly to the skills. And when we come down to skills, so far, I got my combo at a +10, and we have combo A, we have lift off and rough landing, we have invasion jump, we have our dash, because Royal Guard never had a dash, so I want to make sure everybody understands this, that Royal Guard's really good, but still, I wish he had a dash, especially when he's burning. We have high roller and split. We have our style skill that is exceed. For combo B, we want to hold down this skill. That also gives us additional damage. We have several different passives. So basically, at level 68, and I'm not even fully done, as you can see, because I need more shit, man. But we're not even there. We need more books in order to really, really make this level up. So for me, let's go into the hunter stats. Well, like I said, I'm basing on attack, not really HP, not defense or anything else. So our attack's is 5,066. It's a little bit higher than that of Endless Judgment Virgil, but we don't have the crit rate. We only got an 8.2% crit rate. We don't have the crit damage like Virgil. It's only at 50. We're not worried about it. We're worried about the fire damage at 24.8%. I want to get that up higher. I would like to see maybe the overall damage also go up higher if possible. That's two things right there to consider. Now, at this point in time, what you should also be looking for is if you go to the Book of Demons and we go to the Minotaur book, which is our fire book, we want to use a certain pair of runes, and we want to upgrade these runes as best as possible. The level 1 runes are actually really good, just like they are, to be completely honest. So let's go take a look at them. The Disaster rune is, which we have at level 1, increases the damage against burning targets by 12%. But it also increases the damage of Devil Bringer's Devil Trigger by 80%. I would like to see this at a level 2, giving it 24% and a 160% for Nero. I think that this right here is a really good rune set. I think that you need to do this rune set if you are trying to make Nero pop on your team. Simple as that. Nero is best suited with his lineup to be using Spark Igniter and Fist of Salvation. That is another key element to this. Devilbringer really, he cannot shine on his own at S rank pretty much at this point in time. He's not Virgil. He's not broken. But he can do the same comparable damage as Virgil can do on his own, but with a team. What I mean by that is that when you get brand stacks, Nero can do it. But Nero, when he does the brand stacks, it takes longer to hike that up. I think that with me, I had to be in ultimate and it was like 12 hits or so. And then I got a brand stack and it was like 3 brand stacks. Not much to invade. He needs 10 brand stacks to do an explosion for any kind of explosive damage. So that's where Fist of Salvation comes in. In all honesty, this is how the lineup should look. You should always have Fist of Salvation first on the team. Fist of Salvation should be doing its job and going ahead and attacking the enemy and putting that brand stack on them as fast as possible. He has the ability to get that brand stack up to 50 within a couple of, basically, I would say within 10 seconds. That's where my testing was with the training mode and everything else was about 10 to 15 seconds, get 50 stacks in brand. Spark Igniter is good to come pop in. This is where she shines. Get the fire penetration. Once she gets the fire penetration in, get her skill ability out. So that way you can summon in Devilbringer with the QTE to do immense damage and then basically go ham. Get into your ult as fast as possible and beat the shit and use that explosive damage from the brand to your advantage. This is where you're going to see the damage just skyrocket. To give you several different examples upon, what his damage numbers actually are. Standard combo A for me right now is roughly around 16 to 17,000 a combo. With Exceed attached to it, we're looking around 20 to 25K to be added. With no Exceed, but using just alt, we're looking at about a 33,000 per hit, per combo. Now that's the entire combo string of combo A. Now with alt with Exceed additionally added onto it, we can see an additional, alt with the Exceed additionally, we can see probably an additional, 1 to 2K on top of that. However, this is where my numbers were coming into play, and we can I'll show this on a live stream if need be. Alt with Exceed plus using brand off of Fist of Salvation Dante, depending on the enemy type, would be anywhere between 45 to 50K damage. That's comparable to Virgil's damage with his crit rate. Combo B, we could also see the same type of numbers. His standard combo is a little bit higher at a 38K when it's completed. When he used the ult, it's around 60 to 65 on average. And then with Exceed plus the brand with combo B, we're looking anywhere between 80 to 85K on average completing that combo. So that's where the brand really shines, is that it's a drastic increase. You're looking at anywhere between a 15 to 20,000 increasement on damage using Fist of Salvation alone. And then if you use Spark Igniter, you're looking about maybe adding an additional 1 to 2K, which is really not that bad. So you really don't need to have her on the team. It's just that she ultimately allows it to be easier access to push Nero into a QTE phase to be summoned in. That's the way I look at it. You're looking at, okay, Fist of Salvation first, get the damage in, swap it over to Igniter, get the Igniter to go in, do what she can do to put penetration, and then set up for her skill. And once it lands, you put in Nero, bam. Everything's set up, everything's lined up, and now you're playing basically Genshin Impact. You do need to rely on your fire team. Also, to let you know, with the lineup, you do get, as long as everyone has a firebrand, you do get an increased fire damage of 30% on top of that. So, if you guys are more interested in the numbers of what you can expect in the damage, let me know. I will be working on videos that's just going to be based on the combination of combos and based on the build, what you can actually look at. This is mostly a rough, hey, this is how I'm building the character, and this is where I think people should be looking at building the character towards. Leave me a comment below if you think I'm right, you think I'm wrong, if you have a different build and you think your build's better. Look, I'm not saying my build is better, but I'm saying that it is doing justice for me. Originally, when we were live streaming with the character, it wasn't doing justice. But then when we start adding, you know, actual Fist of Salvation Dante into our Nero's combos, I started seeing the improvement. So Nero really works well with others. He's not Virgil. He can't do it by himself. He can do it by himself, but he's not going to do it as good as his daddy. His daddy could do everything by himself. But with a little help, Nero is a piece of resistance. With a little help, he can be just as good as Endless Judgment Virgil. He can do basically roughly the same amount of damage. He just needs a little assistance. So, all right, guys, take it easy. Have a good one. I'll leave you with that. And if you guys would like to start seeing videos of these builds along with actual training videos in the background showcasing the damage, let me know. Like I said, I'm putting together several different lists. As you can see, I'm putting together different numbers and everything, and we're calculating that. And we're working right now with the developers of Pika Combat. Hopefully, we'll be able to soon get the actual calculations on, you know, what everything is, how they judge their damage, so that way we can give you a better accurate number on what the units and the hunters can actually do. So until next time, take it easy. My throat's getting dry, and I will see you on the flip side. Peace.